everybody, and welcome back
Hi.
to more mysterious recipes with me and her. So today we will be making
one of the recipes that we know is going to be in the new game. We haven't started playing the game yet. That's going to be later on. But, you know, you've been watching this channel. Whenever we start playing a Nancy Drew game, what do we instantly get? Ravenous. Well, we do.
soon as we saw the game. I mean, unless you've been under a rock, I'm sure you've seen some notices for the upcoming
We've actually
game.
been trying to avoid as many heads up about the game as possible because we want to go into it knowing as little as possible. But
we did happen across a recipe.
We did happen across a post on Instagram where Her Interactive did mention some of the things that are going to be available as food items in the game, or at least featured as food items in the game. And one of them had literally the recipe right there waiting for us. So what could we do? Obviously, or what could we not do? Not try it. We had to try it. So we are going to try making the recipe for potato pancakes, or as the recipe says at the top, Bramboráky. We're going to try that, see how it is, and then when we start playing the game and we see it hopefully constantly in there, we're not going to be as insanely jealous as usual, because then we'll have some right there with us.
So let's get to it. Do you have the recipe?
So I have a screenshot of the post on my phone. We're using that for the recipe today. It is slightly obstructed at the bottom for instructions, but I think we're going to be able to detect
with our detective skills.
Yes, I think we're going to be able to sleuth out what those instructions are based on a combination of what we already know this is more or less going to be, and also, of course, watching some recipes online of making this traditionally.
This potato pancake is very cheap.
It sounds like it's going to be really good. If you like potatoes, you're probably going to love this.
Let's get to it.
So the recipe does call for 6 potatoes. Our potatoes today are a little on the large side. So we're going to be using 4.
But first we're going to peel our potatoes. What do you think about potatoes, Emily?
I like potatoes. They're tasty. They're not very expensive. Oh, they're potato-licious. What do you want me to say?
Goodness.
They are full of goodness.
They are.
Potato-y goodness. Now, before we get too far on prepping our ingredients, we do need to heat some milk. The recipe calls for 2/3 of a cup of milk that you heated up. So we're just going to throw that in a pan on the stove and get it warmed while we work on shredding our potatoes. Now we're going to work on grating those. So we don't want to have this be a super large shred. You know, like the shredded hash brown potatoes that you see at the store in freezer sections? That's definitely a bit bigger than we want it to turn out. So we're going to use a smaller size grating hole than usual for this, and just shred those off.
And from what we've seen, it looks like there's going to be a little mini coffee game you get to do.
Yes, after we've played the game, we fully expect to, when we get some more time, it probably won't be for another few weeks still, but when we get some more time, we fully expect to do another recipe video with a coffee, a latte of some sort, and a pastry.
Yes.
So there will be at least one more recipe video coming up for this game once we have a chance to catch up on life in general.
And the game. We gotta play the game.
I hope that there are definitely more like games and puzzles to do in this one. The main thing that I had against Salem was that it's entirely too much running around and talking to people. And while yes, that's a big part of solving any mystery, is going around and talking to people and gathering clues, I like to gather clues too by going around and looking places and finding things and solving puzzles. And
I think it'll definitely be
talking.
an adjustment, because I think
Definitely a different art style.
The art style again.
But you are happy about the fact that they've added the 2 different movement styles to this game versus just the one from Salem.
I'm definitely gonna play old style, because it's like nostalgia. At this point, I play Nancy for the nostalgia, and it's a great game. I enjoy it just because, but I want that nostalgia feel when I play it. And Salem definitely did not have that.
No, it was a lot of changes all at once.
Yeah.
Should we switch during some of playing the game? Probably not, because we both want to like play it on our own first.
Probably not, and also like I said, you really do not have time.
Well, like I said, I'm trying to do as much as I can this week and set next week, and I can take it easy just to play.
I'm going to be very busy next weekend building the coop, because we can't do it this week. We're building our chicken coop. We're gonna get chickens and ducks
She's gonna live her
so
own
excited.
Shadow Ranch experience at home and be out there crying while patching up the fence to keep coyotes from eating her chickens.
If those coyotes even think about my chickens.
Yes, we do have coyotes around here.
We do. I will have a big problemo. We have started on building their little shelter and their pen, and it's taking a long time. Almost as long as Dave fixing that little area in their enclosure. How many days do you work on it? At least 3.
Maybe Dave just wanted to have something he needed to work on that was close to the house, so that he could get more Nancy sightings in. Do you ever think about that? Maybe that's why it took him so long to fix.
After you told him you had a boyfriend?
Comment down below if you've ever deliberately taken longer than you need to do something just so you can spend more time around your crush. So we've got our potatoes
Now we have to squish
nice and
them.
shredded. Yeah, we're gonna squish out as much of the liquid as possible because we want these to be able to hold together, hold their shape, and also not make our oil when we're frying them spit everywhere. If you have less liquid, it's not gonna spit
You know what
as
you need to
badly.
tell the potatoes, Emmy? Hold yourself together, man!
Alright, so going back and looking at the recipe that we screenshotted that was posted about it, they squeeze dried the shredded potatoes with a paper towel, which would also work. That would probably work better if your potatoes were a little less finely shredded. These did turn out pretty finely shredded, and I feel like we would have torn our paper towel squeezing it, but grabbing handfuls like that and squeezing out the juice worked really well. That honestly worked the best. Alright, so we have our squeezed dried shredded potatoes now. We do need to go and shred some, or grate. Mince, do you want to mince or grate some garlic?
We already have a grater, let's just...
Yeah. So we need 5 cloves of garlic that we're gonna grate. I think next time, just because the garlic does get a lot more slippery, I would just either mince or do a garlic press. Alright, our potatoes are shredded, our garlic is prepped. We're going to take that milk that we heated and pour that in our potatoes and mix it.
So we can now say, what exceptionally
We're replacing
boiled
all that-
potatoes.
Replacing all that liquid that we squeezed out with other liquid that has more flavor. I'm gonna get some oil heating on the stove, probably about like a 1/2 inch or so deep in a pan. What next?
The 1 tablespoon dried, however you say this herb,
Marjoram.
marjoram. I never can say this herb right.
Alright, so we need a tablespoon of that.
And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of flour.
Well, are we supposed to go ahead and add our egg first?
Hot milk, oh sorry. Egg, garlic, and marjoram. It just says add everything.
So add, alright,
Your garlic,
5 cloves of that, shredded or minced.
1 egg, a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of flour. And now we get to mix. Let me mix it. Okay. Give it to Stan. First, a sip of coffee. How? I got coffee on my shirt.
In the meantime, we've got some cottage cheese and cream cheese set aside. before when we're done, it does say that you can try topping it with either one. The cream cheese, we do want that to soften up a little bit.
I don't know if I've ever had cottage cheese.
I want to say this is where the instructions are obstructed, so I'm going to look at that recipe one more time. Okay, so yes, this is about where we can't make out the instructions anymore on the recipe that we screenshotted, but we know more or less what's supposed to be done with it. We're going to take the oil for frying, where we've got that heating up in the pan, and then we're doing these in like pancake size batches. I mean, they're literally called potato pancakes, so we're going to do them about the size and shape of a regular pancake. And when our oil's hot, we're going to start adding that in batches and frying it on both sides until it's golden brown, and at that point we should be ready for a taste test. The stove does run a little bit cooler, so I did go ahead and cut the oil up to high heat rather than medium high because it's not cooking very quickly, but
you want it hot.
Everyone's stove is a little bit different. Start off at about medium heat, and if you need to cut it back if it's going too fast and about to scorch, then cut it back. But if it's taking forever, I'm guessing about 3 minutes per side should be about ideal. So if it's taking significantly longer than that, feel free to turn your heat up a little. Once you pull it out, since we are deep frying this, go ahead and throw it on a paper towel so it can drain that excess oil and it doesn't get soggy.
Or if you have a little rack, that would work too. A little metal rack to set
it looks and smells so good though.
It smells delicious.
So are you going to try yours with cottage cheese, cream cheese, or both? We can go ahead and open those up.
I will try it with cottage cheese to start. I also think
I love cream cheese, so I know I'm going to like that.
Some green onions would be delicious on top.
That does sound good.
But I have no green onions out of stuff right now.
I did think that ketchup would probably be really good on this if you wanted to Americanize it more.
Ugh. Keep that.
It's fried potatoes.
I hate ketchup and potatoes.
Probably anything that you like on potatoes in general would be great on these. They are going to be a little garlicky, but that's going to be great.
Ranch would be great with it then. Have a little.
That sounds so good. It sounds like it sounds like toast.
Have a sip of coffee.
I feel like I'm making, I haven't finished my coffee. It looks like I have more. I feel like I'm making cream cheese potato toast. Look at that crisp. Looks amazing.
Ready?
Yes, definitely. That's good. I like the amount of garlic in there. Definitely it's not overpowering, but you really taste the garlic.
The creaminess with it is really good too. How about cottage cheese?
So you're out, you're detectiving. You found a nice vendor selling these scalding hot, crunchy potato pancakes. Covered in either cream cheese or cottage cheese, whichever you want. How do you feel?
I feel very happy. Me too. Imagine it is a cool rainy day outside. And get one of these.
Right, when it starts raining later on, this is gonna be even better.
Listen to that crunch. Lovely crunch.
It's kind of like definitely very garlicky, very crispy hash brown patty, but better because usually hash brown patties it's just shredded potato and that's pretty much it. I definitely think you could do these with like any condiment or topping though.
Those crispy edges are so good.
So we might have backfired. Part of the point in trying this recipe before playing the game was so that we're not so ravenously jealous and craving these like crazy when Nancy's out buying them during the game. But the problem is now that we've had them, when we sit down and start playing later, I'm pretty sure now that we've tried them, we're just gonna be like, oh, you know what would be really amazing right now? And then we're gonna have to make a second batch. But is that really a problem?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Oh no, super delicious. Perfect crunch. Great for a rainy day. And we cannot wait to start playing this game, see what it looks like.
I don't know why I'm crossing my fingers like I'm afraid.
See the general feel of the game.
It looks good from the snippets we've seen before we were like, no more, we don't want to see everything.
No more!
But it does look good. I feel like visually, you're not thrilled with how the people look. They're not really your ideal art style. But other than that, like the environments in the game, they look really good. I feel like it's going to be a very pretty game to play. As long as there are enough puzzles and we get to drink lots of lattes, eat lots of Bramboráky, and pastries, which again, our next recipe video is probably going to be a coffee of some sort with a pastry. We did definitely love the recipe suggestion we got under our last video. That did sound amazing. We were trying to figure out the logistics of making the acorn candies to put in the milkshakes, but then we saw this post and obviously with the timing we had to go ahead and do this one first.
This takes precedence.
It does, it does. There's not a new game coming out every month, sadly. Could definitely go for that. But
we will see you next time with hopefully lattes and pastry.
until next time. Bye guys.
Bye!
Mystery time. There's a mystery.
You can have a little fairy ride on you. Woo! Oh, it's beautiful! Good job. Oh! Clever! Say hello, Pastel. They don't see you very often because you're always hiding. He's a little chicken boy.
He does look very
tired
sleepy.
he is. You want me to put you back on the couch?
His eyes are droopy.